Hello and welcome to the One Church podcast, where we have different conversations about life, faith, theology and so much more. Today then, I'm joined by Elias from Norway.
Yes, from Norway.
Jesus Revolution. With us today, we're going to have a conversation a little bit about Jesus Revolution and your life, if that's okay.
That's very okay.
But we're recording this in Gloucester. You've been in Gloucester for 3 days now?
Yeah, 3 days.
Is it the best city you've ever been to?
It's definitely one of the best. I mean, it's difficult to choose.
Yeah.
Been to the biggest cities in Europe so far, but it's beautiful.
Okay,
it's
I understand this. It's nothing on the biggest cities in Europe, but it's all right. Yeah. So you're currently on a tour with Jesus Revolution. Can you tell us who are Jesus Revolution and where have you been in Europe so far?
Yeah. So Jesus Revolution is a missions organization. It's been going for 25 years, and the question was how to celebrate. They decided we go to every possible nation in Europe. So we started out mid-February. We started travel from Norway to Denmark, and we've done kind of Eastern Europe, Balkans. We're working our way up. We've been to 38 nations.
Wow.
And England is now 39.
Amazing.
And it's been such a joy and privilege. So 4.5 months approximately.
Yeah. That's a long time on the road.
It is.
And you're still smiling.
Still smiling, still trying to keep it up. But it's a lot of grace.
Amazing.
Lord,
Yeah. And then 3 weeks after the tour is finished, you're getting married?
Yeah, so first the tour is finished, then we have a couple of mission trips, and then 3 weeks later, I'm getting married.
Congratulations.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Hope that all goes well.
Yeah, I hope so.
You're going to deserve a well-earned rest after all that.
It's going to be good.
Wonderful. So we're going to hear a bit more about Jesus Revolution in a second from you and find out about that tour.
Yeah.
This conversation, I want us to focus on young people in particular, because that's who Jesus Revolution really connects with, is young people, isn't it?
Exactly.
So it'd be great to talk about them.
Yeah.
Firstly, though, I wanted to find out a bit more about you, because you've got quite an interesting story.
Yeah.
How was it that you came to be where you are, doing what you are doing today?
Yeah, it's a long story. I grew up in a great home, Christian family, heard about God, about Jesus my whole life. And when I was 13, I experienced God in a powerful way. I realized that God, He's real. He loves me, not just everyone, but He loves me. And I got baptized in the Holy Spirit and radically filled, and I was encountering God so strong. And in the following years, I never really managed to surrender my life. I was struggling, to live my whole life and follow Jesus completely. And I, as many other young boys, we have a dream of becoming professional football players. And I was one of them. So I trained hard every day, morning, evening, sacrificing a lot to become great. And at the age of 16, 17, I played for the national team of Norway. So I traveled all over Europe with the best players from our country. I played with Erling Haaland, which today is in your great country.
Yeah.
And we played against England in the European Championship for 17-year-olds, and many
did you
great
win?
Players. We lost 3-1.
I mean,
but we
can't
were
win them.
leading. We were leading 1-0.
Uh-huh.
And then they were so good.
Fell apart at the end.
Yeah, we fell apart.
I mean, can't win them all.
So England, they got the second place in the European Championship.
Yes.
And the same year, they won the World Championship for our age.
Wow.
So it was a good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're playing at a high level then?
Yeah. So it was kind of the best level at our age at that point, and many of the great players today. So that was my dream. I wanted to become the best, and I saw it is possible because I'm here. It's possible, and then things happen in life, and with me it was kind of I wanted to follow Jesus because I knew He was real, and I had a fear of God that I cannot just leave Him, but at the same time I thought it was tough to kind of connect these two, football and God, and at one point, I had an encounter with the Lord where I realized I cannot continue to live halfway in lukewarm lifestyle. I cannot continue to live in sin and think it's okay. Because God, He is a God that loves us, but He also wants the best for us. And the best for me and for you and for all of us is to follow Jesus with our whole life. And for me, I came to a point where I had to make a decision, actually. Am I going to continue on the road that I am now, that is leading me to destruction, leading me to an empty life? Or am I going to turn away from my sins and come to Jesus and live all in for Him? And at one point, I realized that if I die now, I'm on my way to hell because I'm not right with God. And I turned away. I was on my knees, crying, weeping, repenting. And the Lord met me, and I came back to church, came back to a great community, and surrendered my life. Wow. And then half a year, 9 months later, I experienced that God spoke to me about, for God it's not wrong to play football, But in my case, God spoke to me like, hey, Elias, you've been living your whole life for something that doesn't mean anything. And now is the time to live for me. And for me, that was a kick in the butt kind of. I want to follow Jesus, not halfway or 90%, but for real.
Yeah.
And so God called me into the missions field, and that's why I'm here. And it's such a joy now to use my story, use the background that I have, to reach so many young people, and it touches people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to wind back a little bit, because I think what you're saying is really interesting, that you, for a young guy, 16, you're traveling all over the place, you're playing with the best, but you mentioned this feeling of an empty life.
Yeah.
So there'll be 16-year-olds potentially listening to this, that what you had is what they want to play at the high level. Can you describe that? So you had everything that you wanted, but still felt empty.
Yeah. Because, as humans, we always chase after more. We want more in life. I was seeking after success, after maybe money, popularity, while others can, seek alcohol, drugs, or girls, or money, a job. And what I felt was that I have everything, but still I'm not satisfied. Still I long for more, not just to become a better player, but for more. And for me, I knew that, come on, this life is always chasing. But actually, Jesus is the one that can satisfy me for real. And I can be at peace in my heart with him, even though I don't have everything in the physical. And that was for me like, I need Jesus. I cannot continue to. Nothing else will fill me. And I believe that's for young people in general. They go through life and they're so excited about life, and they're just trying to figure out what is gonna fill me.
Yeah.
So I think it's very relatable to many young people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's a good segue into talking about what Jesus Revolution does.
Yeah.
So you guys, as you say, you've been traveling all over Europe, so many different countries.
Yeah.
Like, is it thousands of young people now that you've spoken to and connected with over that time?
During the last months, it's been thousands.
Yeah.
And it's been both in meetings and in streets, schools.
Yeah.
So there's so many young people out there.
Yeah.
We've met many.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. And I wonder if you could just give us an insight into what have you observed. So you've seen young people from different countries, different cultures, a few different age ranges.
Yeah.
What have you observed? Is there anything that connects all of them? Where are they at the moment from your perspective?
I think...
And bearing in mind, you're still a young person yourself. How old are you?
I'm 23.
23, okay. I'm a little bit older than you. Okay, 23 yourself.
Yeah.
So what did you observe in your time? What have you observed in the tour?
So what I've seen is young people in general, as I say, they have this emptiness and they long for something real. They're tired of the hype. They're tired of the fake stuff. They're tired of things that is, just partially satisfying them. And then in the end, it's just emptiness. They want something real. And, all over people are struggling with anxiety, depression, with alcohol, with self-image, with, drugs. They're tired of living in this way, and they want something real. And they're so confused, genders, all these things. There's so much confusion out there. And what I've seen is that there's only one thing that helps. It's not the medication. It's not the doctors. It doesn't work. The one thing they need is encounter with Jesus. They need to know who he is, and he's the only one that can satisfy, that can change lives. And that's my experience. Like when we're traveling, we've seen so many young people that have been radically changed. And if I could share one story, just really quick.
Good.
In Romania, there's a guy. He hears us in the streets that we're sharing about Jesus. We're proclaiming the gospel, and he's coming to the concert in that evening, and he's ending up giving his life to the Lord. And he shares his story with us. The night before, he was so tired of life. He was about to jump from the balcony to take his own life. And then he heard some people screaming in the streets, and he was attracted, came to the concert, radically saved. Wow. And 2 months later, he's a part of the church. He recently got baptized. He is so into it. And now he is sharing faith.
Wonderful.
And he's sharing about how his life was totally transformed.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. That's what, we rejoice over that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's many more stories just like that one.
Probably.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And even in our city, since you guys have been here, we know there's been moments where people have said yes to Jesus and have had that encounter for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's so good what you guys have been a part of, what you're doing. I wonder now if you could speak to yourself when you were 16.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself? And in doing that, if there's someone listening to this that is where you were, chasing after success, feeling that emptiness, what would you say to them?
I would say that there's no life worth living rather than follow Jesus. Because that life, all in, if you follow him 100%, it's the best life. And I experienced there's a joy of surrender. When you surrender to God, there's comes such a joy. It's not, oh, I need to follow God. It's a joy.
Yeah.
The God of the universe, we can follow him. And so if you're there and you're listening, go all in for it.
Yeah.
And say to Jesus, if you're real, show me who you are. And I want to follow you.
Yeah.
And it changes your whole life.
Yeah.
Your whole way of viewing life even.
Yeah.
That life is so precious.
Yeah.
It is.
Amazing. Great advice.
Cool.
Wonderful story. Keep doing what you're doing. We're behind you, with you, heart and soul. We're grateful that Jesus Revolution came to Gloucester, did an amazing event, and I know you're on to do some more amazing things around the UK.
Yeah.
And then where are you going to after the UK?
After the UK, we go to Belgium, Netherlands. We're going to be a part of a big conference there that we call Empower 21.
Great.
And then after that, we do some mission trips, and then
Yeah.
we see.
Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me today.
Thank you.
I think you're awesome, Elias. I think you've got the call of God on your life, got some amazing things coming up ahead of you, and we pray God's best over your marriage, over the wedding day. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm sure there's many more moments in your life where you're going to see people connected with Jesus through your story. So bless you, mate. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.